Hi guys, welcome to the Edpuzzle for multiplication. So we're going to start with just some multiplication, 2-digit by 2-digit. Ooh, I said that funny. 2-digit by 2-digit. And so you're going to need to get a piece of paper and some something to write with, because I'm going to be asking you periodically what the answer is or whatever, and you're going to need to put it into Edpuzzle. So you're actually solving this with me, not just watching and doing goofy stuff, okay? So we're starting with 42 times 38. Go ahead and write that down, and we're going to go ahead and start solving it. So it's always good to estimate. I always forget to do that, and I always forget to tell my students to do that. But I'm going to round this down to 40, and I'm going to round this up to 40. So my estimate is going to be 40 times 40. 4 times 4 is 16, 2 place values. So I'm going to get close to 1,600. Okay, so that's going to be my estimate. When we actually solve this with using the standard algorithm, we're going to start with the ones place of the bottom number. This is how we do this with the standard algorithm. We're going to multiply 8 times 2, and then we're going to multiply 8 times 4. So we're going to start with 8 times 2, which is 16. Now, all of this stuff that I'm going to do on the side is not what people typically do. They don't usually write out their steps. I'm going to write out my steps so that you can see what happens first and second and third, okay? And fourth and fifth and so on and so forth. So 8 times 2 is 16. When we write 16 down, it's like when we carry, we put the 1 over here and the 6 down here. Now, I like to put a plus sign there, but most people don't, just to remind me that I have to add that 1 into what we're doing. Okay, so I've done my 1 times 2, I've done my 8 times 2. I'm done with that because I've done it. Now I'm going to move to my 8 times 4, and I have to remember to add the 1. Okay, so 8 times 4 is 32, plus the 1 is 33. We don't have any place to carry the 3 over to, so we're just going to write it down. So 336. Basically, what we just did is we just did 8 times 42. All right. Now what we do is we're done with the 8. We've used that 1. We are going to move. Oh my goodness. Would you please? My marker doesn't want to put the lid back on. I don't like it when it does that. Okay. We're going to move to the 3 here. We always use the bottom number as our reference point for where we start and how we do this. So we're working with the 3. We need to remember that we're working with a 3, but it's actually a 30, which means our first number is going to have to go in the tens place because the 3 is in the tens place. So we always put a placeholder in the ones place for our second number. If we had 3 numbers, we'd have to put 2 placeholders. Every time we move down another line, we have to put another placeholder. So we've got 1 placeholder because we're on the second number, okay? So we have to do this. We have to do 3 times 2, and then we have to do 3 times 4. So 3 times 2 is 6. We don't have anything to carry, so we're going to put the 6 there. Our next one is 3 times 4 plus, we don't have anything, so we don't have plus anything. And 3 times 4 is 12. Now, when we get to this point, we have basically what we just did is we did 30 times 42, which is 1,260. So what we do now is we have to take those 2 numbers and add them. So we've got 6 plus 0 is 6, 3 plus 6 is 9, and 3 plus 2 is 5, 1 all by itself. 1, 2, 3 places, we put our comma in, and we have 1,596. Okay, so if I were to do this without all of the things over here, it would just look like this. And actually, I wouldn't even have all that. It would be faster by just doing 42 times 38 So this is how efficient this becomes when you get used to it. 8 times 2 is 16, 32, 33, placeholder, 6, 12, done. Okay, that's why this becomes a more efficient way to do multiplication, because this is what, when you get used to doing it, this is what it looks like. And this is what, how fast it can be, okay? All right, I'm gonna give you, we've got a couple more. Now we've got 63 times 91. First, let's go ahead and estimate. I'm gonna go ahead and go 60 times 90. 9 times 6 is 54, 2 place values. I should be close to 5,400. Really quick, I want to point out that our estimate was 1,600 or 1,600. Our total was only 4 off, 1,596 on that one. So our estimate is 5,400. Okay, so what do we start with first? Do we start with the 6, the 3, the 9, or the 1? Right, we start with the 1. And we have to do 1 times 3 and, 1 times 6. So we start with the 1 times 3. 1 times 3 is 3. We don't have anything to carry over, so we don't have to put plus anything. 1 times 6, 6. So our first line is 63. We are done with our 1. We don't have anything to cross out up here because we didn't have anything to carry over. We are going to make sure we have that placeholder in first thing. We've got first, second. So we got, go ahead and figure out what our next number is down here. All right, 9 times 3 is our next step, which is 27. We do have to carry our 2 there, and our 7 goes there. Now we have 9 times 6 plus 2, so 54 plus 2 is 56. And what do we have to do with those two numbers? Yes, we have to add them. So I'm going to put my addition symbol in there. 3 plus 0 is 3. 7 plus 6 is 13. 6 plus 1 is 7. And 5 all by itself. All right. So our final answer becomes 5,733. We estimated 5,400, and it makes sense that we're a little bit higher than that because we ended up going down in numbers for both of these. So our answer should have been a little bit higher than our estimate, but that's still pretty good. Okay. All right, this one is a 3-digit by 2-digit. And it's the same process. It's just that now what we have to do is we definitely start with the 5. What's our first step? What do we have to multiply first? Right, we have to do 5 times 3. What do we do next? Yep, we're going to have to do 5 times 2. What do we do next? 5 times 3. You got it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We've got 5 times 3 is 15. So I'm going to put my 1 here and my 5 of my 15 there. Next is 5 times 2 plus 1. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 1 more is 11. So 11. Now I've got 5 times, go ahead and figure out the rest of this number. Excellent. Okay. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. I didn't have any place to carry that 1, so we just left it there. I'm done with my 5, done with that, and I've used those up. So now I'm on my 4. Remember, we have to put a placeholder. Okay. What do we do first? Yeah, we do 4 times 3 first. So 4 times 3 is 12. So 12. What do we do next? And we have to add, 4 times 2 plus 1. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. What do we do next? We do 4 times 3, which is 12. Go ahead and add those up. And our total becomes 5, 3, 15, 4, 1. So I went kind of fast on that, but 5 plus 0 is 5, 1 plus 2 is 3, 6 plus 9 is 15. I carried the 1, 2 plus 1 is 4, and 1 by itself. Look what I forgot to do. I forgot to estimate. Let's see, what would I have done? I probably would have done 300 times 50. So I would have had 15, 1, 2, 3. I would have estimated 15,000. Okay. Last one. Go ahead and write it down and solve it. All right. So what do we do first? Which 8 do we pick? Yeah, we have to pick the ones place 8 first. And what operation are we going to do first? Yes, we're going to do 8 times 2, which is 16. Now what are we going to do next? I'm going to put my little plus sign. Right, so our next one is 8 times 0 plus 1. 8 times 0 is 0 plus 1, which is 1. 8 times 0 is nothing. We still have to add the 1 though. Okay, what's our next step? Yes, our next step is 8 times 7, which is 56. That was always my fact that was hardest for me to remember, was 8 times 7. Okay, we are done with the ones place 8, and we are done with the 1. I'm going to go ahead and work on the tens place 8 now. And since that's in the tens place, our first number has to go in the tens place, and we have to remember that place value holder. Okay, don't forget that. That is so important. So we're going to start with 8 times 2, which is 16. 8 times 0 plus 1, 1. 8 times 7. So it's kind of interesting because it was 88 that it's 5,616, 5,616. It's the same thing, but we had to shift it over a place value because this was actually 80 and not just plain 8. So I'm going to add those together. 6 plus 0 is 6, 7, 7, 11, and 6. Put a comma in, and our answer becomes 61,776. Okay, I said that was the last one, but I lied. Would you please, on your own, solve this one using the standard algorithm? 53 times, let's go with 42. That looks a lot like one that I did. Nope. Okay, just to make sure. Go ahead and solve it. All right. So I'm going to leave, well, I'm not going to leave it. I'm going to solve it fairly quickly. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 5 is 10. 4 times, I'm going to put my placeholder. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21. 6, 2, 2, 2. 2,226. Okay, I'm going to give you another one. I want you to solve it on your own. Type in your answer. We're going to go with 328 times 65. Go ahead and solve it. All right, let me go ahead and solve it so that you can see what would be done. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 2 is 10, plus the 4 is 14. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 more is 16. Okay, I'm going to put a placeholder in. I'm done with the 5. 6 times 8 is 40. Oh, I can just use that 4 again, but I'm going to go ahead and cross them out. 48. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 4 is 16. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19. I'm going to add those together. 0, 12, 12, 13, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3, 21,320. All right, and that is the end. Thank you.